What's up everybody, and welcome to Greenlight Car Reviews. My name is Giancarlo, and if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing down below and hit that bell icon so you get notified every single time we drop a new video and you don't miss out on some great content. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and comment, it helps us a lot. But now let's get into it because we have a great car today, we have a great SUV. So this is the new facelift 2020 Stelvio Quadrifoglio. And in this video, we're gonna be looking at every aspect of it. And we're gonna really go in detail about this new vehicle because they have a bunch of new features they added. So let's get right into it, guys. So looking at this vehicle, right away you can see that from the exterior, there's not that many differences between this and the older generation. And that's because they already had such a sick car, they didn't really need to make that big a difference of it. So it's a facelift, but in technical terms, they didn't really do anything about the face or the exterior or whatever. But you do have some new options on this. So this new version comes with an option where you could get 21-inch mags on it. Now these are 20s, but you have the option to get 21-inch mags. But then if you do opt for that, your ride might not be as comfortable as if you go with 20 inches, which is why we have 20s on this right here. And you still have these beautiful mags, the Alfa Romeo mags, and you have this beautiful badge over here. And the look of the car is just incredible. But it is the same look as you've had in the previous generations. Now you do have a few changes, but before we get into that, I want to talk about the engine because it's so nice, it'd be kind of a sin not to talk about it again. This is the same engine as the previous generation, and the reason for that is they already had an amazing engine and they didn't really need to change it. So this is a twin turbo 2.9 liter V6 producing a crazy 503 horsepower and 442 pound-feet of torque. It also comes with torque vectoring, and you have a 8-speed automatic transmission in this vehicle, and it works really, really well. You don't really get a lot of lag, but we're gonna get more into that as we drive this. But I just really wanted to show you guys the engine because it is honestly a masterpiece. A lot of people say it comes from Ferrari. Alfa Romeo doesn't want to say that, but between me and you, this is a Ferrari engine, and it works really, really well, and we're going to show you that in a little bit. Before we enter the vehicle, I just want to check out the boot with you guys because it's a sports utility vehicle, an SUV. Now we know it's sporty, but let's check the utility part. Let's see how much space you have in the back. And to be honest, it's actually quite big. You have 18.5 cubic feet inside of room. And then if you want some extra room, you can always pull down the back seats over here and bring this down, and you have a lot of room. Now you can advance your front seats a bit and it's going to be a flat space, and you have this over here to cover all of your stuff, and you have another cover over here so you make sure that no one sees what you have. And you actually have some extra room over here. This does not come with a spare tire, but you can always fit some tires in the back. If you want to go on a track day, you have a lot of room for that. Now, as you guys can see, you have those quad exhausts in this Stelvio Quadrifoglio, and they sound amazing. But now, with this new facelift edition, you actually have an option to get an Akrapovic exhaust. And you can even have an option with the Akrapovic to get some carbon fiber tips, and it looks really, really good. And it sounds even better than this. And it's hard to imagine because there's already an amazing sound with this. But if you really want to go all out and you want to go crazy, get that Akrapovic exhaust and it will sound even better. But now let's go inside. So we're going to start with the back, and you do get a good amount of space. So let's put these seats back. Now, you get some nice seats. So they're leather seats, and you have some Alcantara in the middle, and you get a lot of legroom and a lot of headroom. And you have this sunroof that comes all the way back, and it just looks really nice. It's a nice place to be. You have also some heated seats in the back, which is an option, and you have some USB chargers over here. So it's a really nice place to be in. And now let's go check out the front because that's where all the changes came. Now coming inside the cabin of this vehicle is where you're really going to see the changes of the new facelift. So first of all, this steering wheel is brand new. It kind of looks like the older one, but if you really look at it, you have some different details. So you have your Quadrifoglio badge over here. This is carbon fiber, and it kind of goes inwards. And I really find it much more modern than the older steering wheel. Now over here, your gear shifter is going to be brand new with some leather on the side of it and some nice stitching over here. You have your Italian flag over here, and everything is kind of shifted upwards. So your brake, your handbrake used to be down here and now it's up here, and the reason for that is now you have some place over here to charge your phone with an option of a wireless charger. so everything had to be moved forward a bit. But I really like the design of it. I like this nice carbon fiber that you have, and the interior of this cabin really makes you feel special, and it's very, very, very nice. Now you also have this brand new digital screen over here. It's an 8.8-inch touchscreen. Now the quality of it is very good. The image is very crisp, and you have this whole new infotainment with a bunch of options in it. So now you have, with the Quadrifoglio, your performance pages, which will show you the temperature of your different mechanical gauges, your boost that's going to be used, and the amount of torque you're going to want to use. And you can switch between these and see all of your information as you're driving. And I find that's a really cool touch, and it allows them to compete with BMW and Mercedes, which already had these performance pages. Now the navigation is also very nice, and you also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, which really brings Alfa Romeo in a new age. They really needed to update all of their infotainment. It wasn't up to date with the older version, and now they are able to do this with this new facelift. Now, one thing I wish they would have done is I really wish they would have put a digital dash in this vehicle. The competitors already have an option for a digital dash if it doesn't come as standard, and Alfa Romeo really should have taken the opportunity to add that. But we know that there's a new car coming in the future, and they weren't able to deliver it yet because of COVID. So we are expecting another facelift either next year or the year after that, and we're hoping that they're going to come with a digital dash. But for now, it still looks really good. Those analog dials look good, and you have the digital part in the middle, which allows you to look at some information. But now I really think it's time for us to go for a drive, and we're going to go in more detail about this car and look at the suspension, the brakes from the interior. And I really want us to look at this new DNA mode. So we already had the DNA mode in the previous vehicle, but now your exhaust will be activated as soon as you put it into dynamic. Before, you really had to put it into race to get that exhaust sound, but we're gonna go more into that. Let's start driving, and I'll show you guys every single aspect of this vehicle. But before we get into that, we're gonna start this vehicle up, and I wanna show you guys how it sounds. So let's do that right away. So we are now driving the brand new facelift of the Alfa Romeo, and it is very familiar. It is very familiar, and it is close to the old one, but there are some key differences, but we're still gonna look at all the aspects of this vehicle. So we're gonna start out driving in the A mode. So the A mode of your DNA settings would be the eco-friendly mode or your highway mode. And so your shifting is gonna, your car is not gonna rev very high, and it's mostly to save on gas, and it's very comfortable. But then if you want to put it in your N mode, which is your normal mode, it will be your comfort, your most comfortable setting, and this is the setting you're probably going to want to drive it on every day. And right away you can see that the suspension is pretty comfortable. We're going on some bumps, and we're not really having a problem with it. And now the cool feature they've added in the new version, well, this facelift, is now if you put it into dynamic, right away you will be able to hear your exhaust, something that was not possible in the older generation, and a lot of people complained about it. Before, you had to put it into race to be able to activate the exhaust. Now the problem with that was that if you put it into race, well, you're automatically removing your traction control and stability control, and a lot of people don't want to do that. Now with this new option, you're able to drive it in dynamic with the exhaust turned on, and you don't have to put it into race, and you're still safe. Now, another thing that's good about this Stelvio, it is four-wheel drive. So you have Alfa Romeo's Q4 four-wheel drive system, and it works really, really well. I've actually driven an Alfa Romeo Stelvio and a Giulia in the winter, and I've never had a problem with it, and it works really well. And that's what's good about the Stelvio Quadrifoglio, is that with the Giulia Quadrifoglio, you get all of that performance, and it's an amazing car to drive. But if you live somewhere where there's a winter, somewhere like Montreal where we live, you can't really drive it in the winter because you're gonna have a lot of problems. It's rear-wheel drive, and there's a lot of power. As in with this, you have all of the same power, but you could drive it year-round. And you're gonna be safe, and you're gonna feel comfortable. You're not gonna have a problem with bumps. We're on a very bumpy highway right now, and it is incredibly soft, and it's nice. And you don't get a lot of cabin noise. They've reduced that as well. So in this new facelift version, they've put a bit more insulation to make sure that you don't get a lot of tire noise and you don't get a lot of wind noise. And we could really see that I could speak very easily and there's not a lot of noise coming into the cabin, and I like that a lot. Now, I also really like the feel of the steering wheel. It has a bit of Alcantara on it and it feels really nice, and it's the perfect thickness, if that makes any sense to you guys. So when you get on the highway, you could see how great the performance of this vehicle is. There is no lag. It just shifts really, really well. And I really like this transmission. And then the sound is just astonishing. They really did something nice with this sound. I really, really like it. And what I like about this is the new active suspension that you have with the DNA profile. So if you switch it back into normal or into the eco mode, the sound is gone just like that, and you could drive it normally, and the suspension is extremely comfortable. And you could drive this every day without a problem. Now, I also really like, you see, when you get into corners and you put it back into dynamic and you actually want to give it a bit of speed, well, these seats, these are the sports seats, and they grip you really well on the side. So you feel really safe and comfortable pushing this around corners. Now you have another option for the seats. You could get the carbon fiber bucket seats. Now the only thing, if you do opt for that, is that they do not allow you to get seat warmers with the carbon seats. So if you live anywhere cold like we do, I would suggest you to get the normal sports seats like this, which offer the heated seats. And it's honestly not that big of a deal because they're extremely comfortable, they look really good, and they grip you really, really well. And then I really like the fact that this sound is so classy. It is a deep sound, and they didn't put too many pops and bangs in it. It is really a classy sound. But then when you upshift between 5,000 and 6,000 RPM, you have a burble. You have a burble coming in your high revs when you shift up. But then when you shift down, there's no pops and bangs like in other vehicles. But I don't mind it. I prefer it actually because it's classier. And then if you do want those pops and those bangs, well, you can opt for the Akrapovic exhaust, and that will give you more pops and bangs and a different sound. But you do not need it at all. I really, really enjoy the sound of this. It is really, really sporty. And the four-wheel drive system is really good. Even if you put it into race, you do not lose traction at all. It's incredible how safe this is. And usually when I review a vehicle, I will always at the end of it suggest it to certain type of people or for certain uses. But for this is really the type of vehicle that you can drive anywhere, and you could be anyone and drive this safely and comfortably. So that's the purpose of this. It is a sports utility vehicle that anyone can buy and that anyone can drive and enjoy without a problem. And then if you want to push it, well, it's very easy to do, very safe to do. You have that great sound. And then when you get back in the city and you want to, just drive home and be comfortable, you put it back into your comfort setting or your eco setting, and it's just a normal vehicle. You would never know that you have 503 horsepower right in front of you. So that's what I really enjoy about this. This is really something special they have done. And now let's talk about the price. Now, the base price for this vehicle is $98,000 Canadian. This vehicle, as it is tested today, is for sale at John Scotty Alfa Romeo for $102,000. And I would suggest you guys to go check it out because this is an amazing vehicle and it is worth every penny. I do not know of a better vehicle for this price that can do everything this can do. When we talk about Nürburgring times, like I said, we compared this to a Lamborghini Urus, which is 3 times the price, and the sound is like you have an explosion coming out of the back of the car every time you upshift. It is incredible. And sometimes as you're just revving it up, sometimes you'll just get random pops that are gonna come out of the exhaust. It's crazy. This is crazy. There is nothing better for the price. There's nothing on the market that can compete with this. Nothing can offer you what this offers. The drive is just so rough. It is an amazing SUV. It is the best one on the market right now. And please go buy it. Go help small companies like Alfa Romeo because they need to keep making vehicles like this. No one is doing this. This car is special. There's none on the road. And you're gonna stand out driving it and you're gonna have the time of your life. I don't even want to stop driving it. That's how good this is. This is so much fun. Let's slow down a bit so we can push it a bit more because we want to stay safe. We don't want to do any speeding. This is so loud. All right, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for watching our videos. Thank you so much for supporting us. Once again, thank you to John Scotty Alfa Romeo for lending us this vehicle. And please go check out their website and the link in the description, and go check out this vehicle. It is for sale right now, and you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. This vehicle is very rare, and it's worth every penny. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you soon.